want you to take care of my chickens, or are you also watering my garden and feeding my cat and my dog and cleaning out the litter box and getting the mail and, you know, doing a dozen other things, and are you okay with that? Because this is, people in this group have volunteered to do one thing, and that's take care of the chickens. Anything beyond that, I feel like is something that needs to be asked about.
Yeah, right, it shouldn't be assumed. That's a very, very
And you
good
should
point.
also let them, we've run into this just taking care of people's dogs and cats. Let them know if somebody else is going to be coming in the house too, because you'll come and things are moved around.
Yeah.
Are things supposed to be moved around? You know?
Yeah, we always tell our neighbor across the street, she's home pretty much 24/7. You know, like sometimes she'll say, oh, I saw that new blouse you were wearing or something when we talk by the phone. I mean, she's there, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, you want a neighbor like that who's keeping an eye out. But I always make sure that she knows we're going on vacation or out for a while, we'll be back or whatever, and that there'll be a cart coming, or that there'll be two, just so that she's not surprised. Yes.
Well, this sort of goes along with the sitter bringing children. The owner needs to let the sitter know if they have any problem with them bringing lots of people by.
Okay. Yeah.
And sometimes there'll be a whole bunch of people that you don't know in your yard or in your house.
It probably varies from person to person, but I imagine if you wanted to negotiate a cat or a dog in that as well, that is a possibility.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just asking, you know, right. Yes, I know that there's chicken sitters in here. If there's a rooster situation, because we've been dealing with our rooster with my husband, and what he's done, because he's not allowed to be aggressive back, and one of the things he did that was really effective, it would be easy for a sitter with a rooster they don't know. Take a blanket with you. If the rooster ever attacks you, if you toss the blanket over the rooster, he's contained. He can't hurt himself. It doesn't hurt him. And he'll eventually quiet down. You can do what you need to do in the blanket. And it's a very easy way to not harm someone else's bird. And they're just protecting you. They're doing what they do. They don't hurt you. And, you know, so it doesn't. I mean, our rooster is pretty sharp because he'll do what he can. Like if he sees you going one way, he'll go around that way to come up behind you. So he's sharp enough to be able to be tricky.
Yeah.
And the blanket thing has been very effective. It also just calms him down.
Yeah.
So a water gun's also very good too for going in. You can have an aggressive hen, and they see that our hen one time, and she sees that and calls the other way. For a chicken sitter, she might, I mean, it's an easy way to protect yourself in a non-lethal manner.
So wool, cotton, or synthetics?
Whatever. He's also used laundry baskets and things like that, but I think some of that initially was sort of taunting the rooster, which I haven't much problem with him.
Anything that could use to contain a cat?
Absolutely. A bucket.
Bucket, basket.
But if they're being aggressive towards you, because there's a lot of jumping and flying at you, the blanket works really well because you can do it in midair and they're down on the ground. Okay. So that's just for the sitters. Find yourself in a situation and now you have a need to take care of a rooster.
I'll be honest now, in my situation, since that's happened to two, when it happened to my first one, like I said, I thought since it hadn't happened to us, I was more saying that it could be that specific situation, but Sarah's raises roosters and stuff. So for my place as a chicken owner looking for a sitter, I would probably try not to have them in. If I keep that rooster, I would find a way to keep them separate because I just don't feel right knowing that's happened now twice. I'm like, okay, and those are good tactics. And some people I think might be able
This
to
is
say
more
that's
for the
fine.
sitter because you don't know until you get there and now what do you do?
Right.
How do you deal with this animal that's, in his perspective, trying to kill you?
water. So how hardy are chickens?
They are. I think this might be a good time to transition. That's the next part. This is kind of like the universe. And well, before we go there, how about we lead into that? But let's go back and let's maybe start the top 4 or 5 things. If you had to say these are the most important, or rank them. Let's go back through. Where do we think protection falls? Like
Yes,
predator proofing. I would say that's up there like
Yeah, because they
big
can
time.
live without food and water for 2 days.
And food and water.
I think they had to, you know, the predator will kill them and stuff.
I think keeping it easy is really, I mean, if you just overwhelm people.
Right.
And I'm about to have to deal with this, and I know there, you know, I've got an electric mesh fence. I've got a couple that love to fly over, and I'm not gonna, I don't want my buddy to have to be chasing around. So I need to take care of it. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have your little things that take up time, just try and solve it before you get a
Yeah.
better long-term solution. But I think-
Keep it easy on the sitter's needs.
Yes. Free water access. The keeping, I think that kind of covers some of these others. We'll go to there.
I think too, if you're a person who's here who doesn't have chickens yet and you're thinking about building your coop, if you plan on doing a lot of vacations, having a run or either a coop that's big enough for them to really stay in it, even in the hot time of the year, or a run that is really secure, you know, not a tractor that doesn't have a bottom,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of stuff, then you can be more comfortable just having sort of minimal care. So just think about that up front.
And that's exactly, I think that's a great point. Thinking up front on how much you can self-contain. That's what Shane, we haven't finished doing our coop the way we want, but ours is greatly oversized for our chickens. And we told Sarah, just leave them in there, they'll be fine. We were gone it on, but even if we'd been gone a week or 2, I would have felt okay with them in there. I might have added a couple of extra things besides sand, like some water, or misters or something for the time of year. But my ideal situation would be to have where you can water, like an auto water attached from the outside, the feeder that you could feed from the outside, and that the egg collection can happen from the outside, where you don't even have to interact. That would be, to me, the ideal for the sitter's point of view. We're not fully there, and I think Shane might stroke out if I ask him to do another chicken project right now, but I actually want to go there, so we and the builder, that's, I think every man has that situation, that the wife wants not every man, but in my situation anyway, I know that's how it works a lot. I'm very thankful to have someone who will do handiwork. Okay, so that being said, let's real quick on the sitter's needs. Sitters, speak up, what are your top 3?
Safe environment, as far as not tripping over things.
Okay.
Getting spurred by a rooster. Or
Clear
I have a goose that's,
Clear
I don't know what happened to him.
Clear instructions.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so if we had to distill it down, we'll put the rest, but those are kind of like the essentials. would you say?
Written list of what won't and won't do, just so that everybody's on the same page. About other pets or
Yeah.
Okay.
other.
Well, that can probably be other. And we can, we're gonna probably
Yeah.
subdue some of those. Yes.
The list is over the top, but when you give them the list, you can give them their hand sanitizer to keep them calm.
Yeah. I thought we have actually out by the duck pen, we didn't tell you, sir, but we have some hand sanitizer out there. So, yeah, if you could, the more things you can leave around that for yourself, if you put a little sanitizer, say, hey, when you come, here it is for you. Here's the flashlight, like someone mentioned. Here's the water gun for that. And I like that mesh thing I talked about, I had it on the outside there. Cool. That being said, yes.
You know, you could also do, when you do your sitters list, you could have the people that don't mind doing the extra stuff
Yeah.
in one list.